Inside the Cave now brings you the official store to get all things Cave Crush and Inside the Cave at cavecrushshop.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cave Crush and like our Facebook page, Cave Crush Shop.
Turn that up a little, yeah, like that. Enough of the bullshit. It's time to go inside the cave with CB, Joe Dirt, Big Dog, Sid, Cousin Lamar, International D and Cat, and Valley Vale featuring Roland, Charles Hurd, and now introducing Sly.
Coming down. Boy.
Inside the Cave.
Don't go nowhere.
Bonus show.
Got a problem? Need some advice? Send your questions and problems to Cat for Cat's Corner on Inside the Cave.
Got it. So apparently there's a black kid and a white kid, both boys, bullying my daughter with name calling and pushed her. I'm at the point where I'm about to choke slam a couple kids. I had a talk with the counselor because the principal was out till Monday and the assistant was in a meeting. I told her my 2 cents and so did my daughter. There's 4 boys involved. One I feel is being protected because of the questions from her and she couldn't believe he would push my daughter and name call her. I know all the names of these kids. The counselor also put the kid name at the bottom who I feel that's being protected. I kept her home today until those kids are talked to and parents are informed. This isn't over. I'm going back in tomorrow and every day until I feel it's taken care of. Until then, I'll be searching out the parents of these boys. What would you all do in this situation? Kat?
Well, as somebody who worked in the school system for 7 years, I'll say that yes, they have to protect all children.
What you do at the school system?
I'm sorry?
What did you do at the school?
I was a teacher.
Okay.
Middle school teacher.
What you teach?
History.
Yep.
So
The
they have to protect the children. They are not going to tell you the name of your child's bully. No, they're not. So yeah, they have to do that. Don't get upset by policy because that policy also protects your child as well. I do want to say too that your presence in the school, in any school, is important. If you can imagine, if there are 300 children in a school, then as a teacher, I probably see some of their parents during the school year. There are some years where I don't meet a parent when I was in the classroom. So as a parent, you have to let it be known to the school that your child is your number one priority and you will not rest until whatever situation that has arisen and you don't agree with, you have to be there. So yes, being there every single day is fully important. But the big picture here that I want you to see is that you are an example to your child on how to deal with bullying. They're gonna get bullied. Grown people still get bullied, and everybody has a different way to deal with it. So I think as a parent, you're doing a great job by showing your face at the school, letting the school know. But you also have to make sure to show your child an example of number one. I do want to point out too that I like that you mentioned the races of the bullies and that it is one from white and black, because bullies don't have a race. Bullies don't have a sex. So it can be anybody. It can be 2 boys bullying a girl. It could be 2 girls bullying a boy. It doesn't matter. But I think it's very important that you not worry about trying to tell them what to do and be very big about what you tell your child, because this will arise again later and you may not be able to be there to help the situation. So it's a good time for you and your child to talk about how to deal with negatively aggressive people in their lives. And by all means, tell the teacher you're coming in the room to volunteer, because you could probably show the kids that are bullying them more so than letting your child beat them up. You could actually, your presence could change the behavior of the entire classroom, which as a teacher, I will say, parents underestimate. Your presence in a classroom, even if you just poke your head in to visit, every kid gets on their P's and Q's, including the bullies. The bullies are going to see, well, if I'm going to have to bully this kid, I'm going to have to bully their mom too, because mom is going to be there as well. So definitely arrange for a meeting to speak with their parents, to ask them their opinion on how they plan to help their children solve this as well.
Hey, I forgot to say that this was a man that actually said all this. So this is a father.
I guess if it was a man, because a mom would have just emotionally went off. A mom, I think this dad genuinely cares for his daughter and also genuinely does not want for the children to get away with it in a sense of they're going to miss their lesson. He doesn't want them to miss their lesson. Otherwise, he would have just went up and beat them up anyway. So it's obvious that this dad cares not just for his child, but the children around his child. And he should definitely show his face in the place, because you never know. Your presence may save another child from being bullied by these same bullies.
Let me ask you all a question. See, I don't understand how this kind of stuff works no more, because if I look back, I mean, we were bullies. We might have been bullied, But no, you would. Oh shit! I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt by not saying no name, but since you,
God damn.
So I mean, but you know what? But that made us tougher. That made it so. I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of bullying it is, but at the same time, I guess it goes back to what Dog asked earlier: are we just too sensitive, or is it a real thing? Because I can't.
It's a real thing, man. You think about Columbine shooting and shit like that. Little kids come back and shooting up schools because they being bullied. Real thing. I don't think they being that damn sensitive.
Yeah,
you gotta handle stuff. You gotta try to nip shit in the bud.
That's the thing. Nip it in the bud. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. There's about 2 motherfuckers in my daughter's class now. I'm dying for one of them motherfuckers to put their hands on my child so I can beat the dog shit out their daddy. I ain't touching no kids. I want your motherfucking daddy at that school by the time I make it up dumping and tear his motherfucking ass up in front of you. So you better not ever fucking touch my daughter again. I'm gonna beat the dog shit. I'm gonna beat the fucking brakes off your daddy in front of you in this school, in front of the rest of these kids. And I'm sending a motherfucking message. You touch my daughter, I'm a dog walk your motherfucker.
Wait. You sure you want? Nah, seriously. Do you want me to edit this?
You ain't gonna edit it no way.
Okay. Yeah.
So you not. Then I touch my daughter. Don't touch my daughter. Don't touch my baby.
Hell yeah, because if it was my son or my daughter, I get them permission to go to school and bust them little kids upside their head. Then the attention is gonna be drawn to the situation. Then we'll handle it from there.
Yep. You let me sort it out. You tell me what happened and let me go up there. Let me worry about it after that. You go home. Your mama be up here get you in a second. Y'all go home.
Hey man, I think my biggest fear is what I might do in the event of my child being mistreated or bullied at school. Mm-hmm. You talking about some shit that I think about daily. Right. And like Kat said, I make it my business. Every parent-teacher conference, every whatever, I make sure they know that my child has a mother and a father that cares about them. And at any time, I would show up in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah.
I had an issue because over here is where I am now. The schools are probably 90 to 95% white, and it was an issue with my daughter getting the homework assignments in elementary school. So by the time she get the assignments, it's like last minute. The teacher always had a bunch of excuses, like she sent the email, probably went to your junk file or whatever. So what I did was I told her to email me and I emailed her back. And I say, so I responded to your email, so whatever you send me shouldn't go to a junk file. From this day forward, I'm the number one contact. You call my wife after you contact me. If I don't get that assignment at the end of the day, like on Friday, I'm contacting the teacher right away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any parents, man, like guys I know that's, kids just now starting out in school. I mean, I know everybody's work schedules are different, whatever your priorities might be, but when your kid got something going on, any kind of parent-teacher conference or, when they do the little reviews or whatever. You need to be there.
Got to be there.
I don't give a fuck what your situation is with the mother, if you together or not together. Man. You need to make sure they understand that that kid has 2 parents or 3 or 4 parents, depending on what your situation is. You know what I'm saying?
Bring the grandparents too. Shit, for real.
You're so right, dog. You nailed it. The only problem with that statement, though, is not normally. I'm not even going to make an assumption about the bulliers, but generally, a lot of the time, you don't have involved parents. So even if they got a parent or 2 parents at home, they're disengaged and they're not involved. So it detracts away from, parents like us that are super involved. So, what does, Sid took it to the physical, which I don't think is a good idea, but you know what I mean? But
especially if he's serious too, Doc Roland. That's the reason.
So the thing you got to think about, it depends on what mindset you in and how early on you catch the situation.
Well, the advice that I would delve out is you definitely got to put pressure on the school, because regardless if that parent's going to do, and first of all, a parent is a terrible parent if they allow. I'm not saying that good parents don't produce bulliers, but I'm saying, but if you don't address it, if they're not going to address it, then it has to be addressed through the school. You understand what I mean? Like, you have to put pressure on the school to make them do something about it, or they're just going to allow it to fall by the wayside.
Especially them schools that people are paying for.
Like,
that should not be going on at all. I mean, it shouldn't be going on in no school, but seriously, man, hire money for that, man. Come on.
Once that situation get highlighted and you make that school aware, they need to be contacting the parents of every child in that classroom if they want to act like they don't know which kid is doing it. To make sure.
I need to ask y'all a question.
Those parents of those kids in that particular classroom understand that they have an issue with bullying.
Okay, but is playing the dozens, is that considered bullying now? That's why I need, because I don't know.
It all depends, man.
My kids are,
See, I think a lot of people consider that bullying now, because you making fun of and teasing somebody.
If you want to call it playing the dozen, but if I make it known that I ain't into that, and you steady doing it, then that's bullying.
Yeah, agreed.
I just want to give you the side of the bully. I had a young lady, and she was responsible for 6 siblings, all under 5th grade. I was her 5th grade teacher. So she had 6 siblings under her. And she was a very stressed out little girl, as you can imagine. They're all getting on the bus to come to school. So she's very angry. And one day, she was kind of, bullying and picking on people. And I had to kind of check her like, you know what, we don't talk to each other that way. Use all the skills they've taught you in school. You got to calm down. And she was just angry, y'all, and lashed out at me. So now I'm physically in an altercation with a 5th grade girl. And I took her into another classroom and I shut the door. She was pissed. She was so angry, y'all. You could see like red coming from her eyes.
The kid cat?
The child, yes. And I had to push her in this classroom. I had to shut the door so she could cool out, because she was like a danger to herself. She was a danger to the other children at this point. Her anger, her rage was at another level. And y'all, I promise to God, I turned her around. I touched her face to look at her eyes, and she broke down in tears. So we have to also remember that hurt people hurt people. If they're bullying someone, it's most likely because they feel bullied in some way. And we have to remember, these are children.
It's not an excuse, Kat.
They don't know. So we have to remember that the bully has an issue as well. It's not just the child they are bullying. In many cases, the child that's being bullied isn't the one with the issue. It's the one who is angry.
I agree with you, Kat. I really do.
I understand all that, but at the same time, that's not an excuse for you to take out your frustrations on somebody else.
Yeah, but when you're a child like that, I agree with what Kat's saying. When you're a child and you haven't been taught, you don't know what else to do.
No,
you don't know anybody.
You don't know, but when you trust your kids to go to a school, you're entrusting that faculty to protect your child. And be aware, pay attention to the other kids. So at any point when you notice there's a child in that classroom that's struggling with something, it's up to the teachers to step in and don't just sit there and turn a blind eye.
That's true. No,
What that
Both
means
of them right. Both of them right.
You know, you got to get somebody involved. I mean, put it like this: if like you said, if your daughter come home being bullied, upset, or boogied up, bruised up, and then you go to the school and find out it's this other kid that's having issues, that's taking their anger out on your child, you don't give a fuck about that.
I disagree. I mean, and I'm speaking from the side of the teacher. You just said it's up to the educator. So as the teacher, I gotta know why the hell this kid is so angry.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying that's what the teacher's supposed to do, Kat. I'm saying, but you still got to look at it from all sides. If your child come home upset, bruised, or whatever the case might be because she's being bullied or picked on, as a parent, at that particular moment, you don't give a fuck about what's going on with that other kid. You want to know why this school allow this other child to harm your child.
I was bullied my entire elementary school life. There was not, because my mother spoke proper English and because she dressed me well, because I cared about school. I was literally, and I'm not exaggerating, every day I left and went to a new school in 7th grade because I didn't want to be valedictorian because they were gonna tease me, and I didn't want to be I don't want you to blame the children. Even the bully is still a child.
It's the parenting. It's the parents.
We have to.
I'm not disagreeing with anything y'all saying, but you still not understanding the mindset of the kid of the kid's parent that comes home either upset or hurt because they've been bullied. You can't just look at it. You got to look at it from all sides. I understand exactly what you're saying from a teacher's or the principal or the social worker, whoever they got in the school. I understand all that.
If you found out that the kids bullying your kids are physically being abused at home, you wouldn't care? You'd still want to beat them up?
I never said about beating up the kid.
But
I never said that.
The children who are bullies are receiving this from someone else.
What I'm saying is, as a parent, when I come to that school, I want to know why the teachers are not paying attention to the rest of the kids in the classroom that may have issues. I need fucking answers.
Right.
But that's a tough task. That's a tough ask to a degree. To a degree, when you're in school and you might have 20, 30 kids and you seeing.
So you mean to tell me if a kid is acting out?
Children in one classroom. So it is very difficult.
But I think what Kat's saying is she don't think Kat make an excuse for the bully. What she's saying is have a level of sympathy and empathy for a child who if you're not taught better, you don't know better. But also what Dog's saying is Dog is taking it to the school. He's saying, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Dog. It's the teacher's responsibility to know the temperature of the room when it comes to these kids. So if you got one kid who you're not stupid, you know who the troublemakers in your classroom are.
Exactly.
And you see this individual continually stirring up shit, you as a responsible adult, because Dog don't know this, but as a responsible adult and the teacher and the leader of the children, you need to step up to the plate and get in contact with the appropriate people and say, hey, I'm having an issue with this child, or this child continually and repeatedly. We should look deeper. Especially, like Dog said, when you paying for the school. In a public school, I mean, and I don't want to disrespect a public school teacher. You know, sometimes you got twice as many kids, and it's hard to, you overworked, underpaid, and you got your own family issues to worry with. It's hard to pull everything together like that. But when you spending your money and you ask somebody to shell out X amount of $1,000s a year to educate your child.
Let me stop you for a second, bro. It's not even about the money when you're entrusting these people with your kids. Yeah, what I'm saying is, you got to hold that school accountable for not protecting all the kids, is what I'm saying.
Not addressing. They have to address it. We got a bully issue in
that's what I just said, though.
You're right. No, I'm agreeing.
I'm saying you can't, I don't put it like this, as a parent, I'm not going to accept coming to the school and you telling me that this kid been having issues, but nobody addressed it. And now all of a sudden my kid is a victim of this kid's issues.
Yeah.
The average parent is not going to want to hear that.
Right, because our first responsibility.
What I'm saying is, the people that are in place that are supposed to be teaching these kids or watching over them, protecting them, got to be held accountable.
You as a parent are sending your child with the skills from home.
And I'm entrusting the adults in that school to protect my child.
Or the teacher, you're entrusting that educator to make great choices for those children. I can't guarantee that all children are coming from homes that their fathers will come up to the school, that the father will get the email.
Kat, you giving me all the scenarios that I already understand. What I'm saying is, once the teacher is made aware that there's a problem with a child, if they can't control that kid in the classroom around other kids, that kid need to be removed before a situation occurs.
All right.
It's really great. It's just not that simple and not easy. There are protections for that child too.
Let me get Joe and Sly in here real quick, then we got to wrap it up.
That's my piece.
Okay, Sly.
Well, I'm with Kat and I believe Roland or said the parent showing up at the school, unexpected, expected, sitting in the classrooms, going to class with them, that presence, making their presence known. And having it be seen by the other students, including the bully, goes a long way. It's unfortunate. I hear what Dog saying. That anger, what Sid saying, that anger, and you definitely want to get right at them. I understand from a teacher's perspective, being the son of a teacher, that it is some restraints that you have, that you can't, some things that you can do and some things that you can't do with kids, because you have to protect them, because if you don't, then you lose your job. But to stop to prevent the bullying, first and foremost is to make the proper people aware. That's the parents, the teachers, the counselors, the principals. And after the school, if nothing happens, then you go to the school board. There's always somewhere to work your way up, and especially when you're paying money, your money, that dollar speaks. You know.
See, man, I don't mean to cut you off, bro. But listen, y'all keep going back to the money you're spending. What I'm saying is the money don't mean shit when you're talking about your child.
You talking about like a temporary type of insanity type of thing, like you blacked out. Somebody shouldn't be putting their hands on your child. Period. And something needs to be done. That kid needs to be suspended, expelled, transferred. Something has to be done.
You know what?
No, I think y'all missing my whole point. Totally.
I think they did too, dog.
At no time did I say about a crazy ass parent going up there putting their hands on the kid. I never said that. I said, as a parent, if your child comes home upset or hurt because they've been bullied, as a parent, you gonna go to that school and you want to hold the people that's supposed to be overseeing those kids accountable. They got to give you some kind of explanation. Do this other kid have a history of issues in the classroom? If so, has any of them been addressed? Telling me that I understand that there's steps got to be taken and it's a process, all that, I get it. But hell, when I was in school, I know some guys that skipped class, just had a regular skip day. And because the teacher got so pissed, she refused to teach them. Teachers have rights too. And because she refused to teach them, they wasn't allowed to graduate. They had to go get their GED.
Well, I really think the teacher should bring back the threat of the ruler. That's what they need to have. I ain't talking about no strap and no ruler.
I'm saying that if another kid is bullying somebody and everybody agrees that, okay, 9 times out of 10, the bully's got issues and all that. Okay, that's not the question. The question is, when the people that you're entrusting your kids with recognize there's a child in that classroom that's disruptive or bullying or doing something to other kids, what are they doing to address it? Right. You showing up and they ain't telling you nothing, but I'm gonna look into it. As a parent, you ain't gonna want to hear that shit.
Yeah, by dog talking accountability.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Kat, you want anything else before we we'll close it out? We can move on. I knew it was gonna go real long.
think the most important thing we all have to remember is that teachers, educators, the principal, you are one of 300 students. You are one of, so you sign a paper when you actually become a teacher or any kind of educator. You have to sign a paper that basically says, I will report abuse when I see it. I am a mandated reporter. So in that line of work, if I come across a child who is exhibiting violent behavior, violent tendencies, there are processes that anybody has to go through in order to address those tendencies. But as a teacher, when you're one of 35 or one of 50, I think as a teacher, I can only implore parents to also get involved and get involved actually vocally with your local school council, with your PTA, open a dialogue with the principal. I think the best parents in any school are the parents who we understand. We understand their expectations of themselves and their children. And so a lot of times in bullying situations, while your child has an advocate, you're right, the teacher is responsible for being sure that these types of incidences are being reported, especially with...
I think he wanted you to kind of wrap this up, Kat.
There. You got one more time. Tell me I'm going too long. I'm too long.
Go ahead, Kat.
I'm sorry.
No, you ain't.
I love you, Kat.
It is important that we all remember it takes a village. And while the teacher may be there every day during the day, if your child is coming home and saying something, your presence, being in the school, being active in the school, will definitely change the climate of the school. You're surrounded by, if your child has bullies, go up and have the school address it. And I agree 100% with Big Dog. Ask the teacher to start a discussion about it so the children can actually learn how to problem solve situations like that so they can learn to deal with their own bullies.
All right, that was Cat's Corner this week. Email us insidethecavepodcast@gmail.com. I'm going to try to make a transition to the next segment.
Hey, I know we're moving on, but I'm going to say this one thing. Suicide rates are up. As far as kids in school, it's better to be proactive rather than reactive.
Word to that. Word up.
That's it.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Cave. Inside the Cave now brings you the official store to get all things Cave Crush and Inside the Cave at cavecrushshop.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cave Crush and like our Facebook page, Cave Crush Shop.
Inside the cave.
Inside the cave. Inside the cave. Inside the cave. You're on the #1 show, Inside the Cave.
3 Lee Films.